Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff Bowles Central. We're doing a game review. Holy cow, this is Outer Worlds 2. You know, I was actually kind of excited for this one actually for a while. I made a video two months ago about the first Outer Worlds because I didn't really get a chance to do that when the game originally came out. And I really liked the first one, man. I mean, I know that it's not the most robust as far as like story content or even mission content. Or even variety, really, but I felt like the first Outer Worlds was kind of Obsidian's first super successful strike at the Bethesda formula that wasn't a Bethesda product, if that makes sense. Because what I'm really talking about is the fact that they made Fallout New Vegas, right? So they kind of had the formula in mind already for a Fallout-style game, but Outer Worlds took that formula that is Fallout. First of all, it removed it from the paradigm of like a post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland and put it in a thriving, working, futuristic universe where you planet hop, and you deal with merchants, and you know, nobody's dying here. Well, everybody's dying. Everybody's dying, especially if you're around. But nobody's like, you know, perishing from nuclear fallout, right? Everybody's thriving in this universe. Even the people who are begging on the street are doing better than they are in Fallout, okay?
Should have did better.
But what's really cool about this Fallout 2, what's really cool about this Outer Worlds 2 is that it's really taken that first game. Now that first game was like 20 hours max. It was not a big game. It was not as big as a Fallout game. This is twice as big, easily. And so if you're looking for a kind of an expanding of the thing, if you liked the Outer Worlds as a thing and that's the thing that you like and you're looking for an expansion on that, here it is. The characters are more robust. There's more to do with your side characters. There's more to do with your main character. The story is kind of bigger, although I find that it's actually a little bit limiting. It doesn't have as many overarching branches and things as I was hoping. But what I find is that even though the size of it is bigger than the first one, and the story seems somehow condensed, I'm not really sure how to describe that, other than to say that things take longer. Like, things take longer to develop in this one. That's maybe what it is. I've been trying to identify this whole time. Why does this game feel different? It's like the difference between A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back. And yes, this is an improvement on the first quote-unquote movie, but it's like things take longer to develop. It's more seasoned as a delivery vessel for cool sci-fi storytelling and shooting. What I'm really getting at here is that if you sunk in your 20 hours with the Outer Worlds and you thought it was fast and fun and humorous, this is fast and fun and humorous, but it's like a Godfather Part 2, okay? It's like a... what was another sequel that's arguably bigger and more robust than the original, right? I really, really like my time with this. The dynamics of the world have kind of moved on, and at first I wasn't sold on just being like a protectorate, just like a peacekeeper, a law person, or rather an investigator trying to investigate all these things, you know? Now, there was a time when we used to get games like this all the time, and that time has passed because the gaming landscape has diversified. We have more things like online multiplayer is a much more ubiquitous thing. The single player long form video game experience, narrative, RPG, that used to dominate this field, that used to dominate this industry, frankly, this is one of those shining examples that comes along now rarely, where you really do owe it yourself to play it. Say it! I'm not going to say it's going to suit all needs and all play types and all desires. I keep referring to it as Fallout. It doesn't have any of the real scavenging quality of Fallout. But one of the things I want to talk about here is the environments. The graphics just basically are outstanding and very colorful and very cool. But the environments, every time you walk into a new area, you really never know what you're going to get. And that goes from any major exterior planet where there's all these beautiful, colorful moons hanging overhead, to any interior structure where there's just like this beautiful purple tree growing in the middle of the floor plan. And you're like, where did that come from? It's cool, it's colorful, I want to stare at it. What it really is lush, just exceptionally well designed, because my eyes are never bored in this game. It's just color and light and character and quirkiness. The action itself has been finely tuned, but it is not that different from the Outer Worlds. It was already pretty solid in the Outer Worlds. Combat is great. Skills are great. I love the fact that the inhaler idea, where you're kind of inhaling drugs, has been modified. You can modify your companions. The flaw system has returned, and it's just so much fun, because it's like, every time you do something quote unquote too much according to the game, and it's for fun. These are for fun. Anytime you do that, you can trigger a certain flaw that gives you both a bonus to gameplay somehow, or something that actually causes you injury in the game. For instance, very early on in the game, my favorite one is the old person knees. Literally, I took a flaw. I was crouching so much that I screwed up my knees in the game, and so I can once I get hunkered down into my crouched position, I move faster, but when I stand up, my knees pop, and it alerts all the people around me, okay? So that's an example of what I'm talking about. And you combine that with the gunplay, you combine that with the actual weapon variety, which is fantastic. The fact that there's all these side missions and all these dungeons and all these, well, dungeons, but things that you can raid, like buildings you can raid and find secrets, and you can be a hacker, you can be a military expert, you can be a professor. The multitude of ways that your choices with your character impact your experience, they're incredible. I really like this game, man. I really loved the first one, but it's only been out for a little bit. Nah.
But me, I have to get the first one, as people won't think I'm cute.
All right, let's go.
But please, allow me to gather my thoughts here. I know this was kind of a slapdash thing that I've done here with this review, but please, consider this a win for the first-person action RPG narrative-based gaming experience, okay? This is in the vein of Fallout. It is superb. I'm sorry. I hear a lot of dissension about this and that game. I actually haven't heard that much about what other people are thinking about it out there. I just know that I loved it. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10, man. I feel like the Outer Worlds one was easily an 8, and I feel like this just cranks it up a little bit more with tons more content. It's a slower developing story, it felt to me, so it feels a little milkshakey here and there, but I never wanted for the next piece of the experience. Great game. 9 out of 10. Please check it out, everybody. Outer Worlds 2. Also, do me a favor, like and subscribe to this. Video. Subscribe to the video and like the channel, and check out more videos of mine. I just did the what was it, Battlefield 6 a few days ago. That was a blast, man. Oh my god, I love Battlefield. Anywho, next we'll probably be doing the Jurassic World with the dinosaurs. Bye. Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff Bowles Central. We're doing another game review for you. This is Ghost of Yotei. I was really excited for this game because I love Ghost of Tsushima, which I think is maybe one of the single coolest PlayStation experiences I had ever had up until that point. I don't think it's like the best PlayStation game ever made. I think it's a great one, and I also think that it really struck a nerve with me because it kind of hits my happy places. Of like, excellent combat, melee combat, sword combat, okay? Cool sword combat, and just a cool atmosphere, a beautiful world. The Tsushima region and era of Japan was just gorgeous, man, and the story was really cool and revenge-filled, and everything was just really cool about that game. And so this is the sequel finally. Sucker Punch finally graced us with a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima called Ghost of Yotei. Different character, older, different circumstances, revenge stories still kind of, you know, and the thing is like the gaming media and all the, you know, people who are a little bit more skeptical of this game say that the revenge story is a little by the numbers. I suppose it is, but it's like, what else are you going to do with a samurai game? Okay. Kurosawa set the mold. Okay. He cast the die. This is going to be a revenge tale. It's always going to be a revenge tale. You got a sword. You're a Ronin. You're about to get some revenge. That's how that's going to work, right?
Do you know the Klingon proverb that tells us revenge is a dish that is best served cold?
But what differentiates the Ghost of series, I guess we call it that, from other types of, like, for instance, I played Assassin's Creed Shadows, right? It's a good game. It's a good Assassin's Creed game, but this world and the characters and the combat and even the assassination stealth stuff is just better than everything in that game. I'm sorry, it just is. I like that game. This is a better game. So I'll start with the combat because that's the thing that players are probably most interested in. This sword technique thing that they developed for Tsushima, where it was stances. You actually had different stances that allowed you to combat your enemies in different ways with your katana. This version actually has different weapons that replace the stance system so that it's more like you have a blade, you have kind of a bow staff with kind of a spear. It's a spear. I don't really have, I'm not Japanese, okay? I'm sorry. I'm a very, very white American man. I don't know what they're called, but that's what it is. You have to find the right combination of stance against the right type of opponent. Yeah. So for instance, a katana will go up against a katana. That's the natural logic of that situation. So that within a single fight now, and it's always you against like 20 guys. It's always the magical thing because you just rip through them if you're any good at this game at all, right? Which you owe it to yourself to get good. If you can't be good at this game, get good at it because it's fun if you're good at it. The thing is that you're not just combating like melee style with blocks and parries and counters and strong attacks and weak attacks. You also have to keep out an eye for the types of weapons that are coming up against you because you got to switch your weapon all the time and you got to manage your health. And you've got things they've added like disarming where you and your opponent can now disarm each other. They added the wolf. They've added some companions. These companions are dictated by the circumstances of the game. They are not dictated by you deciding when to pull them out, but they're there, which was not in Tsushima. The presentation is a little more flowing. It's even a little bit more organic, if I could say, than Tsushima. Tsushima felt like a more traditional da-da-da-da-da-da, but this thing sort of just flows from one thing to another, especially since the guys you're getting revenge on, the Yotei 6, you can handle them in any way you want. So it's non-linear in its linearity. There's different regions which have different biomes. They look great. Everything is gorgeous. I'll talk about the environments next, and I don't really know what to say about it other than it's like, gosh, my jaw. I can't draw, but I can jaw, and my jaw was on the floor, and it was amazing. The beauty of the landscapes. Tsushima did this beautiful thing. I was talking about the organic nature of the presentation. Tsushima does this beautiful thing where you swipe up on the touchpad on your DualSense controller on PS5, right? And the wind tells you where to go. It sets the path for you and you follow that. There are birds who teach you where the cool spots are. There are things in nature. There are foxes returning from the first game. There's this beautiful wolf that is native to this game. And nature teaches you what to find and where to go and the hot spots. That's very Buddhist, frankly. It's very much in keeping with feudal Japan. This game takes place about 250 years or so, is that right? 250, 300 years or so after Tsushima. I think that's right. Maybe it's 350. My math sucks. And so it's a different time, but as you may know about history didn't move as fast back then in certain parts of the world as it does here today. 350 years looks very different to us, but to them, back then, in that place, it wasn't that different. Life was fairly similar, but this is now feudal Japan in a different era. Your character, Atsu, she's just a lone wolf, okay? She's a Ronin. There's a brother, there's companions, there's people that you meet who become your allies, which is great. So she's not really alone at all, but she's got a kind of a loner personality. Man, I can't really express how much I loved this game. I'm not gonna say again that it's totally perfect. I think that people do kind of have a point a little bit about kind of the by the numbers revenge thing.
My old friend.
No, like I said, it is pretty standard to a samurai thing. Kurosawa, like I said, set the mold on that. But you know what? There are just times in this Ghost series, and I feel like of the two games, Yotei is my favorite, where you just feel so immersed. It's just such an immersive experience. Whether it's really nailing a samurai showdown, because other than just fighting 20 guys, you'll also be facing one person, one really wicked person. It's more like a fighting game at that time, and you come away with like a suit of armor or a new weapon, just something cool. You'll get a reward for that. You know, they have these duel trees that you go to and you face specific people. That's always very cool, very fulfilling. So immersive at that time. So immersive when you're fighting 20 guys. So immersive when you're hightailing it on your horse through the fields of flowers and you're just cruising through the fields, and the game shrinks down to widescreen and the panorama just opens up before you, and there's the Mount Yotei right there in the distance, and it's either green and lush depending upon where you are in the region, or kind of fallish and red, or kind of snowy, and it's always pretty. So immersive when you're bathing in a hot spring, thinking about or playing your instrument, because again, that's another thing that this game adds. In Tsushima, you compose haiku. In this game, you play music. You use the DualSense a lot. That's another aspect of it, which is very cool. We've come to expect that a little bit from PS5 games, especially the best ones. But the thing is like when you're, you know, cooking your fish over the fire, or you're hammering out a new sword upgrade at your father's forge, or you're you know, playing your instrument, your stringed instrument. Again, I don't know what it's called, but the string instrument, right? Everything is just great. It uses the touchpad, it uses the motion stuff, it uses the adaptive triggers, it uses everything. So this is a great game, y'all. It's a great PlayStation game. And there is a huge legacy, as I'm sure you know, as a PlayStation person. If you're watching this, I assume you must be interested in some way, of great PS native, you know, exclusives. And the age of exclusivity seems like it's ending almost. I mean, there's only really going to be like PlayStation and Nintendo, it seems like, eventually. Xbox, I think, will just be a brand that goes everywhere, kind of like Sega used to be. So this is maybe potentially, and I can't say, I'm no fortune teller, but this could be like one of the last eras of beautiful PlayStation exclusivity, such as we used to know it. So soak this stuff up, man, when it comes out. This is one of them. The Ghost series. If you didn't play Ghost of Tsushima, play that, and then play Ghost of Yotei. They're great games. I'm giving Ghost of Yotei on the PS5 a 9 out of 10. I really want to give it a 10. But I've been holding back on my 10s lately because I'm a little too zealous sometimes, whether I was in the past. Because to me, 10 has to be just absolutely mind-blowingly special. And this is so close. I'd give it a 9.5. I'd give it a 9.8, but I can't do the 10. But still, it's so worth your time. Ghost of Tsushima was fantastic. I feel like this is an improvement. To me, it is. So that's it. Ghost of Yotei, 9 out of 10. Go play it. Also, like this channel, subscribe to the video. One of those things works, I'm sure. And make some beautiful mushrooms over a fire someday. But not if you're a pyromaniac, a child, an invalid, or someone who should not be handling fire because, you know, it burns things. So, bye. Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff Bowl Central. We're checking out Monster Hunter Wilds today. This is a pretty cool video game, as it turns out. Not surprising, probably, because the Monster Hunter series is pretty classic, pretty good, especially everything that I've ever played. And admittedly, I'm not a longtime Monster Hunter player. I started with World. Okay, that pegs me as a noob. I get it. I'm a loser. I'm a noob. I'm a nerd.
Nerds? Nerds! What is a nerd?
But that was my first Monster Hunter game. And then I played Monster Hunter Rise as well, which was also very, very cool. Kind of like a shorter, sweeter experience, but definitely still cool. And again, I can't speak to the long-term series. I can really only speak to these 3 games. But Monster Hunter Wilds is just, it's out of control cool sometimes. Maybe not all the time. The monotony of the grind to get better gear so that you can get bigger monsters, so that you can get better gear, so that you can get bigger monsters. That is the core of the gameplay. So if you're on board for a little bit of grind surrounded by beauty and explosive action, explosive combat, then you are in for a treat, because that's exactly what Monster Hunter Wilds has to offer you. First things first, they've kind of streamlined a lot of the things. Again, just gonna use worlds as the benchmark here. They've streamlined a lot of the things that I found personally a little bit cumbersome about Monster Hunter World. Now, I did like the approach to that game. I did like the tracking portion of every hunt. I did like the intricacies of certain things, but they have streamlined the experience. The first thing they've done is add a chocobo. Sacred? I'm not really sure how to say this word. The secret chocobos, they basically run on autopilot, unless you turn the autopilot off. But basically, when you start a mission, when you start a hunt, you hop on your secret chocobo, you hit up on the D-pad, and the secret chocobo just runs right on over to your monster. You don't got to track, you don't got to do any of that. It's just pure get to the monster, start attacking. You can even like sharpen your blade on the back of the secret chocobo. You can even you put on the mantles that you have to kind of add protection or add cure or whatever it is that you're doing. All sorts of stuff. You can take potions, all sorts of stuff on the back of the secret chocobo. But look, that animal, that sacred, it's also a lifesaver, because in the middle of a big ass fight, I mean one of the big ones, if you're getting bombed out and you're like me and you're stupid and you mostly just use a big old master sword size cleaver, you run into some issues with mobility. Yeah, so being able to just again hit up on the D-pad just to get that little beast of a bird to come pick you up so you can slap some potion on yourself, it's a lifesaver, and it increases the speed of the gameplay. Okay, and some would argue that it makes it more casual as an experience. I would argue that Monster Hunter is not really a casual experience. This game is, for the most part, easier than World was to me, but that could also just be because I know how to play Monster Hunter a little bit now. It is a little bit more accessible. It is a little faster. It's more about action than it ever has been before, just actually getting down to the business of fighting and slaughtering these beautiful creatures that have run amok, sure, but sometimes we feel bad because they're kind of cute, they're kind of cool, they're unique, they're pretty, even the ones that fart all over you, like the giant monkey thingy with the 4 asses or whatever the hell that was. I don't know what that was all about. But anyway, I love this game, guys. I really, really love this game. I've put in a fair amount of time with it. I've gotten all sorts of different armor pieces and armor sets, and I've modified this, and I've tried this, and I've tried this weapon combo, and man, I've eaten a lot of steak and eggs and cheese and fish, and it's a really fun experience. It's a really compelling experience. It's one that I keep wanting to go back to. Is it too casual? I don't know. I don't know that that's the case. I think some people will find it that way. Maybe diehards who are really into the intensity of the hunt. But I gotta tell you, it's so much fun to just kind of hop in and start whacking away on a monster right away. To me, what this game successfully does is retain the beauty, because it is absolutely gorgeous. It's a beautiful, beautiful video game. The environments, the monsters are so uniquely designed. There's more variety in the monsters, to my mind. The way they attack, the way that when they start to wear down, they start to slow down, they start to limp. The way that you can attack wounds, it's so engrossing, and there's so many different elements to strategy. And it's kind of meant to be a team game anyway, so you're going to find a lot of different types of people doing a lot of different types of things to take down these monsters. I wouldn't say it's too casual. I would say it's just right now. I would say that this is like pinnacle monster hunting right here. I love Monster Hunter Wilds. I really don't have too much negative to say about it, except that again, the grind is not going to be for everybody. And again, it's not so accessible that if you've never played a Monster Hunter game, you're going to be able to hop right in and understand it perfectly. You're not. There's a lot of tools, there's a lot of elements, there's a lot of crafting, there's a lot of little things that you're just not going to understand until you look it up. And the game's not really going to tell you, except there is an encyclopedia, so the game can't tell you. But hey, listen, if you like an action game and you've never played one of the Monster Hunter games, this is like boss fights the game. This is like the most epic monster battles you're ever going to have. Please try this game. Please give it a shot. If you're a longtime fan of the series, I probably don't need to convince you because you've been watching the press on this one. You know it's special. I think it's special. So, all that considered, I'm going to give Monster Hunter Wilds here, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think I would probably give it a 10 out of 10 if it was like even more unique. It is very reminiscent of old Monster Hunters, but it's like, I don't know, what is a 10 game anymore? What is a perfect game? Is it a perfect game? Probably not, but it's pretty damn close. This is maybe like one of the best games to come out, gosh, in the last year. I can't even think of anything. Maybe Dragon's Dogma 2, which came out about this time last year, I believe. Don't quote me on that. That's probably totally wrong. So anyways, that's it. Monster Hunter Wilds, 9 out of 10. Do me a favor, like this video if you did like it. Ride your Chocobo secret over to my channel and look at more videos and like them too and subscribe to the channel. Sorry, I'm not losing focus or enthusiasm. I'm simply thinking about the next monster hunt. Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff Bowl Central. We're doing a game review for you today. This is Expedition 33. Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I do believe I made last week a video kind of pitting this game against Metaphor Refantasio by Atlas. Because that's kind of a discussion that's being had in the player community right now, FYI. These two games, they're kind of similar-ish, yeah? They're both kind of like long-form RPGs in the classic turn-based JRPG formula, if not actual JRPGs. I mean, I know Metaphor is, but Expedition 33 is a Western game. But regardless, that was the video I made, and in that video I said I wasn't going to review Expedition 33 properly because I didn't review Metaphor when it came out. So I figured why do for one that I wasn't willing to do for the other. But you know what? Having thought about this experience that I had playing this game, I kind of realized that I wanted to say more about it than I kind of got to say in that video. You can go check that video out if you want. But so in that video also too, I kind of gave the win in that heads to head, you know, put on as it may be, either by me or by the community or whatever, you know. I think personally I'd rather play something like Expedition 33 than Metaphor. I loved every second of Metaphor that I played, don't get me wrong, but I just think that Expedition 33 is a very special thing. Not that Metaphor isn't, but Expedition 33 is a little special to me because I've heard people complain just in my own content feeds, the stuff that I make, people saying in those feeds on TikTok and on YouTube. It's just a reskin. They say it's turn-based, but it's actually just an action game with a slight turn-based skin on it. And I disagree with that totally. I think that this is a turn-based game to the core, and that being a turn-based game, it's actually a revolutionary one because it puts more power in your hands from turn to turn to affect the flow of the action beyond just picking things out of a menu, okay? So turn-based is fine. I have nothing against it. In fact, I'm back in the day, back in the 90s, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy IX, okay. Chrono Trigger, anything made back then would have been turn-based from JRPG space, and I loved all of it. And to this day, I'll play a really good turn-based game. Again, see Metaphor. But see, the thing about the Metaphor series and the Persona series that it kind of, quote-unquote, belongs to, is that they already started that evolution there. And I feel like Expedition 33 is just a natural progression with that. And so here's what I'm talking about. Every time you select an attack that is either like a power-based attack, or just some kind of special action apart from just basic attacks and using items, you are given a timing window, and that basic thing just changes everything, because it makes it a very Twitch experience, and a Twitch action experience in a turn-based setting. I don't know if that blows your mind or not, what I just described to you. If you're the kind of person I just said that it puts an action spin, a Twitch action spin on turn-based, if your mind didn't explode, I don't know how else to sell this to you, because that should explode your mind just a wee bit. Because to my mind, it's never been done like this before. So Twitch, because the other half of that is the parrying and dodging system. If you dodged all of these attacks from all of these different foes, even though they quote-unquote picked it out of a menu too, like, right? You have a larger window than if you parry, sure. But if you parry, you get to actually add some ability points back into your deck, so to speak. You give them a strong pushback, you get an extra attack, and in fact, there are some battles in this game, there are many battles in this game, which are just not possible without being able to parry, and I mean really tight. I had to put my TV into game mode every time I played this game, just so that I could have that little bit of leeway, just that little bit of less latency between my Xbox and the television and my controller, right? Because it's really Twitch, and it's not an easy game, even on the normal difficulty. I wouldn't say it's the toastiest, hardest Elden Ring type experience, but it's not super easy. And it does require skill, again, not just the foresight and strategy of basic turn-based, but that's in there too, but action reflexes, Twitch gameplay. And those two things just make it insanely addictive, and I'm just talking about the gameplay. Because on top of that, you add the unique nature of the storytelling. Okay, it's written well. It's written exceptionally well. I'm a storyteller myself, okay? I'm a published writer myself. It's great. The characters are wonderful. They're very well fleshed out. The concept is extraordinarily unique. And it sells it. Being unique isn't really that hard. Thinking of something that everybody's like, what the hell was that all about, right?
What the hell was that?
I can do that any day. But can I sell it? Can I put it into a formula of story that actually drives the point home and makes an emotional resonance in my viewer, in my player, right? That's a whole different ballgame, man. And this game does it. It does have a bit of a slow build-up. It takes a while to kind of get into the meat. Once you're on this island that this expedition is going to, and you're slowly uncovering all these different groups of characters and monsters and peoples, and you're seeing what these expeditions before you have come through and gone through, and seeing what the whole point of this giant woman out in the middle of the ocean or whatever we're talking about is even out there for. All of it is extraordinarily mysterious, enigmatic, but charming. I liked it. I liked these people. I liked what they were going through because I cared about them, you see. Okay, so that's gameplay. That's story. Yeah? Let's talk about just the absolute competency of the visuals, of the graphics itself, of the colorful nature of some of these characters. Let's talk about the music, which is operatic and beautiful, as good as any Hollywood film worth its salt. Let's talk about the voice acting. Charlie Cox is in this, who plays Daredevil. A lot of other great voice actors. Gollum. Andy Serkis, there we go. Andy Serkis is in this game. It's not a slouch, guys. Expedition 33 is such a keenly made, masterpiece of a turn-based, action-y, turn-based game. I need you to play this, baby. Sorry to call you baby. I don't mean to be so presumptuous, dear dear YouTube watcher, but this is really a hot shit game, okay? This is some hot shit right here. All right. So I'm going to give, after all of that, man, I hope I sold it well enough. I'm going to give Expedition 33 a 10 out of 10. And I do not hand out many 10 out of 10s. Mostly for me, it's like 7, 8, 9. I don't usually play anything that's below a 7 just because I'm not going to shell out for it, okay? I am a small channel. I do not get advanced copies. I do not get advanced shit from anybody. I shell out for everything and I play it myself. All the footage you see is me. So believe me when I tell you, I played Game Pass, but I shelled out for the Game Pass to play Expedition 33 to tell you, it's killer. Go play it. Don't argue. Stop arguing. Why are you fighting me on this? I don't understand. I'm feeling some resistance in our relationship. Is everything okay? Whoa. Sorry. A little neurotic. All right, everybody, like, subscribe, do what you gotta do. See me mañana. Does that mean tomorrow? It means tomorrow. Some other day than tomorrow. I'm busy tomorrow. Bye-bye.